Brandon Rogers with Bradshaw Financial Planning and Mind Your Money. Want to bring you a market update on May 11th, 2022. Today we want to cover two different charts that we have found to look at some historical events, things that happened, talk about currently what's going on in the portfolios in the world and things that we're watching and making changes on. All right, well, want to get into the first chart, okay? So this is a really neat chart that we found. When you look at this chart, this is looking at the U.S. stock market, okay? It's basically ranging from going back from 1980 all the way up to current day. And it's really showing the intra-year decline or movement of the market, okay, over that time period, and seeing how far the gray bars are really above the middle of the chart versus the gray bars below, okay? Gray bars is where the market actually finished for that calendar year. When you look at the actual red dots below it, it actually shows you the intra-year. So within that year, how much did the market actually drop? And then did it come back? Did it stay down? Did it go further? You know, whatever it may be. But it's a really good chart to look at. So when you look at kind of the averages on there, it was actually positive 32 of the last 42 years when you look at this time frame. So that's definitely some good odds, right? When you look at the average intra-year drop, it's about 14%, okay? So again, what this is really showing us is that we're investors, right? We're in it for the long term, and don't let the volatility or the drops like we're experiencing right now affect your mind and want to get out and go to cash, because that's almost the worst thing to do at this moment in time. Okay, so don't really want to do that. Get yourself in trouble. You might get whipsawed in the market, because you never know when this thing's going to come rallying back, okay? A lot of things that are going on right now as far as headline-wise. Again, interest rates discussion is the number one thing that's really driving this. Inflation is probably number two. Obviously, you got Russia-Ukraine deal going on. So again, you've got all this stuff going on. So if we get any type of positive news about Russia-Ukraine, I think that'll be positive for the market. If you get the Fed coming out and saying they're not going to raise rates as quick as they thought they were, and they're not going to do so many rate hikes as that they were planning initially, that's going to be a positive interpretation. I think there's a lot of negativity really dialed in this market, and it's really, that's why you're seeing the markets being down at the moment, okay? So again, there's a lot of potential good things. I think the midterm elections coming up in November would probably be a positive as well. So again, we'll just have to wait and see and adjust as needed. The second chart I want to look at is really a historical on the S&P 500. So again, S&P 500, one of the major indexes out there, 500 U.S. companies, okay? These are all your big boy names. All right, so when you look at this really goes back from the 50s all the way up to into 2021. And really what I want to focus on is all the negative gray bubbles at the bottom. You've got a lot of bad R word at the bottom, right? You've got the post-Korean War recession. You got the Eisenhower recession. You got the Nixon recession. So again, the R word is a bad term. Obviously, that's coming up a lot today. But you got the Iranian oil crisis, the Gulf War, the dot-com bubble in the 2000s. That obviously wasn't a good time. The financial crisis in 08, and then the current day coronavirus COVID downturn, which is really, we're still experiencing that to some extent now with the supply chain issues and things of that nature. So again, the moral of the story is that there's always going to be negative headlines. Don't believe me? Turn on the news. See what they're saying. Not a lot of positive stuff talking about in the news. That doesn't get clicks or gets people interest, okay? So again, don't get sucked in from the media and look at all the negative things. Try to look at some positive items that are out there. But moral of the story is look at the trend line of the market over time. Again, we're long-term investors. We're not doing it for the short term. So over time, the market does have its downturns. It also has its upswings as well, okay? So again, our job really on the downturns is to really buffer as much as we can. So what can you do for that? Again, we've talked about this before, but again, we've been pretty active on the accounts, basically taking off some of the riskier assets, going to safer assets or asset classes that tend to do better in down markets, right? Usually value funds do better. Usually your dividend payers do better, which is part of that. You've got your gold that's in there as well, consumer staples. Again, open up your pantry, your Johnson & Johnson's, your Procter & Gamble's, Clorox, whatever it may be. Those type of companies that people need that stuff no matter what happens in the market or if there's a recession. These are just day-to-day living supplies that everybody needs. Those tend to do better in times like these, and that's what we're trying to overweight on. We also got some buffers built into the portfolios as well that we continue to add to. So again, we're constantly watching this, constantly making decisions. But again, just realize that we got it, we got your back. We've got the plan in place, and we are protecting as much as we can. But again, don't let emotions, run wild and make any bad decisions in the short term. Just know that there's a plan. The risk is going to be in check, and we'll protect as much as we can. And again, if anybody has any questions, let us know, because again, we know it's trying times. It certainly weighs on you when you see some of this negative stuff going on. So call us, email us, whatever it may be. Let's talk it through if you need to. So again, let us know if you've got any questions. Join us on social media. Obviously, our YouTube channel, our website will have all these up-to-date videos as well. But again, if you've got questions, let us know. Appreciate you joining me today. Brandon Rogers, Bradshaw Financial Planning.